Thank you very much, Dennis. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll make sure I'm actually coming out of there now. Settings, camera, audio. You hear me now, right? Yeah, it should be good. All right. So I was just talking about how they're starting week 17 with Deshaun Watson versus Aaron Rodgers. That's going to be fire. Detroit versus Dallas. It's a little scary with for ASB shares, but the correlation game is perfect with Jameson Williams, ASB versus Tony Pollard, and for some people, CeeDee Lamb. Not me, but for some. And then we have Miami, Baltimore, which is could be a very exciting game. Could be. I don't know. I mean, I guess it was like the highest scoring game, one of the highest scoring games last year. So that I guess that is good. Love the Justin Bieber shirt. What? Austin. Justin. Uh, Patriots and Buffalo. Eh. Patriots kind of give Buffalo a tough time, but they kind of put a whooping on them last year, so maybe not this year. They put a whooping on them week 18 last year, and that is a repeat game. No, it's not. Who's the Bills played the Falcons? Atlanta is facing Chicago. Now that is a great game. Kyle, you have Justin Fields, Kyle Pitts. Ooh, that's going to be a spicy game that a lot of people are stacking. Justin Fields, DJ Moore, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson. The game stacks with that one. Vegas versus Indianapolis. It doesn't do anything for me. But if you have like Devontae Adams, Richardson, I can see some teams being built. Tennessee and Houston. My Derrick Henry shares are starting to feel real nice right now. I mean, who doesn't love Derrick Henry going against Houston? Are you kidding me? Derrick Henry versus Houston, he's going to run for 200 yards. You're going to have the number one running back if you have Derrick Henry in the third right now. The Rams versus New York. In New York, that sounds like a pretty good game to me to be stacking. I already know I have it stacked. It's Daniel Jones, Jalen Hyatt, Saquon Barkley versus Cooper Kupp, and they don't have anybody to stop Cooper Kupp. They have like the worst DBs in the entire league right now. That game might be a shootout. You might need to start picking up some Matthew Stafford. Heck, you might run Daniel Jones with Saquon. Well, you may not want Saquon against the Rams, so you may want the Darren Waller, Daniel Jones, Cooper Kupp stack. That might be the stack we need. Then we have the Cardinals versus Philadelphia. Holy hell, I'm glad I've lowered my shares of. I don't think I have a single share of Kyler Murray yet, and BBM4 or the DK Millie. And Dallas Goddard just went up in my book. Just one more step up in my book. Ooh, a Zach Ertz revenge game. I was getting a lot of Trey McBride. That's going to kind of slowly stop now. Though it might be a quick outlet, but I still think I'm going to have more. I might get more Dawson. Now I'm like thinking about tight end matchups. I'm like, I might get more Schultz now that I know that matchup. New Orleans versus Tampa Bay. That could either be a shootout or it could be a 6-7 game. I don't know what that one's going to bring. I don't know. San Francisco versus Washington. I don't know how I feel about that one either. It could be, a blowout. Let's say the Washington Red Commanders are having a down season. Maybe the 49ers just roll them. Who knows? Or maybe it is a shootout. Pittsburgh at Seattle. Are you kidding me? We get Najee Harris versus Seattle's defense. Najee Harris to the moon, baby. Seattle's run defense was like one of the worst. And you know what they did? Nothing to upgrade it. George Pickens is gonna have a tough time against that Christian Gonzalez guy or whatever. But they didn't get Christian Gonzalez. Who did they get? Weatherspoon. But I don't know. I'm feeling good about Najee Harris, and I should start picking up some. They sucked against the tight end last year, so that means a little Freiermuth might be added to the old bumpage. We knew about Kansas City, Cincinnati. Those stacks were impossible to get. Maybe some of them turn into more affordable now that we know all the Week 17 games. My Chargers, Week 17, facing Denver. Wait, is there no Monday night game? There's no Monday night game. So I guess the last game is Green Bay versus Minnesota? Really? I guess they don't want to compete with the college game. Or not compete, but like step on anybody's toes. Maybe that's why they don't have any January 1st games. Is this mean that we're going to get the payout's going to happen December 31st? Green Bay, Minnesota. Why is that every Week 17 matchup? The last 3 years it's been Green Bay versus Minnesota. Because the year I won it, I came home and it was Green Bay, Minnesota. Was it Green Bay, Minnesota last year's Sunday? No. Huh. No Monday night game for Week 17. Is anybody else talking about that on Twitter? Is there? Later. Throw it out there to the void because I don't see it. So it's the last Monday night game. There's a triple header Monday night, Christmas Day. Ooh, Rainmakers. Rainmakers. So let's look at Week 15, the start of the playoffs. We know we all love Week 17. So let's see here. I just accidentally backed out of that area, of course. NFL, Week 15. That is not what I clicked. NFL, Week 15. The first day of the playoffs, December 14th. The Chargers versus the Raiders. For Prime Video. Okay, Thursdays. Carolina and Atlanta. Minnesota, Cincinnati. It's a decent matchup. Chicago, Cleveland. That's a pretty good matchup for both parties, I think. I don't know. I don't remember the Chicago Bears having a good run defense, so maybe Nick Chubb is a blow-up spot. Let's see here. Who the Steelers playing? Pittsburgh and Indianapolis. Another decent matchup, nothing great. Finishes off with Kansas City, New England. What about week 16? All about these Steeler matchups because they obviously have big on Najee Harris. Najee Harris versus Chase Brown, week 16. I feel like I'm going to be done with all my entire teams are going to be in first place Saturday, December 23rd, going into Sunday and Monday. Baltimore, San Francisco to end week 16. Oh, man, that's going to be a good game, potentially. Woo-wee. Not firing up a draft tonight. I'm going to let it settle. I don't think there's an edge. Everybody that's drafting right now is just going to try to get correlation. It's just going to be an awkward drafts. I do have a couple slows. Just kind of wait for the schedule to come out. So, just to kind of see where I was at. So San Francisco plays Baltimore, which is funny. I have a Lamar Jackson, George Kittle stack. So week 16, I already have, a dueling matchup. So that's awesome. Let's see here. Who does I've already forgot week 17. Let's see here. Who do the Browns play? I think it was a tough matchup. They get the Jets. See, I was going to stack the Browns up on my next pick. But, maybe I don't do it. Maybe. Wait, who do the Giants play? Because I thought it was a pretty good matchup. The Giants play the Rams. Perfect. Giants play the Rams. We get Daniel Jones. And we'll stack up. We'll not stack it up, but we'll put. What's it called? We'll get the Giants player, and we'll give my Lamar Jackson another stack with Mr. Bateman. Perfect. I didn't get too many stacks. I feel like week 17 stacks right off the rip. Who's Detroit playing? They were playing second game. Detroit versus Dallas. I do have some. Do I have any ASB Pollards? Let's look. I have a cut Pollard. ASB. Do I have any ASB Fields? ASB Harris. ASB Najee. Let's see here. Completed. Best Ball Mania. ASB Dean Smith. Barkley Najee. Pollard Henry. Damn. Though I like this match. And the thing about did they play last year? Did Detroit play the Cowboys? I feel like they did. They did. They got their asses kicked. But that's the one that ASB got hurt in, isn't it? That game, Dak Prescott went 19 of 25, 207 yards, 12 carries for Pollard, 83 yards, 4 catches for CeeDee Lamb for 70. Yeah, Khalif Raymond was 5 for 75, which means what's his name was hurt. This had Ezekiel Elliott running 1-yard touchdowns. Now, obviously, it's not the same year. They added to their defense. But hypothetically, this should be the year that Tony Pollard gets those touchdowns. So say he gets those 2 1-yard touchdowns. That gives him 14 for 85 and 2 TDs. That's not bad. And what's his name? I don't know. I think I still like ASB. But maybe I don't stack. Maybe I don't intentionally stack has to be with the Cowboys because that defensive line was on fire that day. Oh man, tough days. What else? So we looked at all schedules for the main parts. Let's see that week one. Let's get to week one. That's always exciting. How good of a start you're going to have. You have Detroit versus Kansas City kicking off. We all knew that one. Which is like, let's either bury Detroit and make it a terrible year for them. They started last year off against the Eagles. Detroit is getting no help from the NFL schedule. Houston and Baltimore. That might be a blowout. Cincinnati versus Cleveland. That should be a decent game. And Burrow actually might have a hot start. I'm trying to think of the defensive players that are on Cleveland like that. I don't remember last year's games. What happened last year in those games? Bengals versus Browns 2022. Wait, they played 3 times last year? Hold up. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. That was the previous year. January 26th. Okay. My brain could not comprehend that. Bengals beat them. Bengals lost to the Browns October 31st of last year. Holy cow. Joe Burrow threw 2 TDs, 1 interception. Joe Mixon went 8 carries for 27 yards. Higgins went for 3 for 49. Amari Cooper had a tutty. Jacoby Brissett was still the quarterback. Tyler Boyd, 13-yard pass. Higgins, 41-yard reception. Can I see more player stats? This was when what's his name was still out. That makes sense. Joe Mixon 8 for 27. Samaje Perine 1 for 7. For the game that they lost, for the one that they won, 23-10, which is a more accurate depiction of what might happen. Jamar Chase went for 119 and a tutty. Deshaun Watson 1 touchdown, 1 interception. DPJ 8 for 114. Yeah, that should be a good way to start off the season for them. Tampa Bay at Minnesota. Talk about the number 1 all pick getting off to a good start against that lousy team. Honestly, that might put the Buccaneers in a negative game script, which means they might be throwing a whole bunch. Might be actually good for Madison after they get a big lead. Tennessee versus New Orleans. I don't have positive feelings about either team, but if I had to give the upper hand to one team, I'm giving it to Derrick Henry and the Tennessee Titans. Carolina versus Atlanta. That's a good game. That's not like either team has a good. It starts in Atlanta too, so it should be a decent game for Bijan and the corners in Atlanta are pretty good, so I'm not going to say they're going to. I think the ground game in that first game is going to be pretty good for both of them. Let's see here. Jacksonville versus Indianapolis. Richardson could start off really hot if he gets the opportunity. But if it was me and you got Gardner Minshew as my quarterback to start off with, going against his former team in Jacksonville, that would be nice. Then again, Jacksonville, Florida, Anthony Richardson. I know they're not in Florida, but you know. San Francisco versus Pittsburgh. Not the greatest start for Najee, but maybe Pickens and Kenny Pickett get off to a hot start. Seems this actually might be good for George Kittle. They had a hard time with tight ends as well as receivers. So, but Debo's not like a receiver. He's like the mixture. So maybe Brandon Ayuk right off the rip starts off well. Cardinals versus Washington. I didn't think that I'd like Washington, but all they have left is Budda Baker, and that's about it. Las Vegas versus Denver. That'd be a decent game. I think it should go Las Vegas's way, but I think as the season goes on, I think Denver's going to start picking up some steam. I think I'm going to start building some Charger or Denver stacks. Some Marvin Mims with a Herbert. I like Dulcich. All right. The Miami Dolphins versus the Chargers. I hope we can handle Tyreek Hill again. Just hope he doesn't find a fumble and run it for 76 yards. The Patriots versus the Eagles. That should be a good game. A little weird to have that one be the starter. The Super Bowl rematch from a few years back. And I don't really see anything plus negative. That's a neutral game. Green Bay, Chicago. We love to see it. First game right off the rip. Green Bay, Chicago. Should have fireworks, or it could be a dud. Depends on the weather in Chicago. Seattle versus the Rams. That should be awesome. Having two teams that know each other fairly well. You got Cooper Kupp versus DK, Tyler Lockett, and JSN. Yeah. Dallas and Matthew Stafford back healthy. You got Higbee, Tutu Atwell, and all those Cam Akers. And then the Sunday night game, Dallas and New York. I don't know why everybody. That's such a random popular first week game. It's always like Dallas, New York, or I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that one, but it always feels like they play each other. And then only one night, Monday night game, Buffalo versus New York. I personally like the two Monday night games, but I get it. Let's see here. Minnesota versus Philadelphia to kick off week 2. Ugh. That's a struggle bus. He's going to have a good week 1. He may struggle again week 2. Jalen Hurts, though. Can we get an easier matchup for the Steelers? We got Cleveland. Okay, good. In Pittsburgh. Who's playing week 18? That's what we kind of also want to know. That means all the other matchups, that didn't get to happen throughout the season. Let's see here. What's week 18? Who doesn't get to play each other? It's usually all divisional games. Seattle, Arizona. Pittsburgh versus Baltimore at Baltimore. Thank God. Oh, hated that. Hated that was week 17 last year. Tampa versus Carolina. Cincy versus Cleveland. Minnesota versus Detroit. Green Bay, Chicago. Oh, so they start the season off each other and they end the season against each other. Houston, Indianapolis. KC, Chargers. Oh, week 17, KC, Chargers. Man, that sucks. Denver, Las Vegas. That just means that they're not going to play each other one time. I'm actually curious when the other one is, but it doesn't matter. Buffalo, Miami, Denver, Las Vegas, New York, Patriots, Atlanta, New Orleans, Philly, New York, 49ers, and the Rams, Tennessee, and Jacksonville. Dallas and Washington. Holy cow. Week 18 is going to be crazy this year. That's a lot of good teams. Oh, that's a lot of good matchups. Let's go back to week 15. Chargers, Raiders. You have to beat one of 16 to beat me in 4. Trying to think of the combinations of players. And hypothetically, you could have Devontae Adams and Austin Eckler right off the rip. If you wanted to play week, I'm personally going to try to strategize, 15, 16, and 17 instead of all the people who are just worried about 17. Atlanta, Carolina. I'm trying to think of combinations of that. I don't think I want anything from Carolina, so that would just be a Bijan. Bijan, Pitts, London, unstacked. Minnesota, Cincinnati. Jamar Chase versus Kirk Cousins. Oh, man, that's insane. Like, say you get JJ and then you double back it with Higgins and Burrow, or you get Chase and you double it back with Cousins, Hockenson, Addison. That'd be insane. You got Denver, Detroit. In Detroit, fireworks. Jameson's back. You have Jameson, ASB. You got Goff. Sam Laporta coming on finally late in the season. Then you got Marvin Mims, potentially Courtland Sutton. I think he's going to be the one that gets traded if they trade it. Marvin Mims, Courtland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Dulcich, and Pirine, Javonte, whoever's the running back at that point. That could be the game. That could be the game we might need. Week 15. Pittsburgh, Indianapolis. I think that's a really good matchup for Najee. He got hurt in the last year's Pittsburgh, Indianapolis, but he started off with a touchdown, like right off the rip. So it's like, if he can stay healthy this year, maybe he's the key again. New York and Miami, week 15. Could that be a fireworks game? Tyreek Hill, Garrett Wilson. If you can get Tyreek Hill, Garrett Wilson for week 15, so you get Tyreek in the first, you get Garrett Wilson in the second, you get, let's say you get Najee and Pittman or Josh Downs. That would be good matchups. I don't think there's any week anybody's paying each other week 15 and week 17. But that Baltimore-Jacksonville game could be a shootout as well, depending on how what's his name wants to play it. Hey, puppy. Did Bobby let you in here? Hey, puppy. Yes, you're a good girl. You're a good girl. Right, go to your bed. Go to your bed. Philly and Seattle feels like a shootout, but maybe it's just a shutout by Philly. But I watched like a 5-minute clip of DK Metcalf just owning what's his face. So maybe DK comes out firing and we get Slay. And then AJ Brown. Oh, that's a battle of the big boys. And they used to be teammates. That'd be a good game to watch. Woo, week 15 is getting me hyped. I think week 15 is where it's going to be at. Because then if you have Cup, let's say you have Cup, you don't, and you have Jahan Dotson, you have Naj, you have, another who is shit. It's Samaje Perine. You could have the right running back going against Detroit, who really didn't upgrade their running defense. They got Jack Campbell, but he's good, but he's not like amazing. I've been getting a lot of Rachaad White. Rachaad White versus Green Bay is a little nerve-wracking. But who else do they have? The pass catchers for Saints I haven't thought about them really. And going against the Giants, who I think have one of the worst pass defenses. That might move up Michael Thomas a few spots. Who else am I missing from? Oh, Chris Olave. I don't know. That's a spicy matchup. Ooh, Darren Waller semi revenge game against his old quarterback Derek Carr. Not really a revenge game, but storyline. But Derrick Henry to start off, I didn't even think about it. Yeah, Derrick Henry started off is just insane. So say you have the Raiders weren't like amazing against the run. They were pretty decent against the run, but say you have Austin Eckler and you have Derrick Henry, and you throw like who Lions have the Broncos. They have a pretty good pass defense. Who are the Jets playing? The Jets are playing the Dolphins. So let's say you start Eckler, Wilson. Oh, you got. I think Wilson can own the old corner Jalen Ramsey. I think Wilson can own Jalen Ramsey. And then you have Henry. Man, all the matchups. If anybody else is getting excited, please let me know. I guess I could pull that up. I don't know what I'm doing. I have it on my phone. I could show. I don't have anything. Let's see here. Let's put it up here. What I was looking at. Let's go to ESPN. NFL schedule. Week 17. But I was looking at week 15, so let's go ahead and go to week 15. Wait, let's go back to week 17. Make sure there is no Monday night game. There is no Monday night game listed, which means your money will be counted December 31st. So when you win the title, well, actually, when I win another $3 million, it will count for this year. So that's really good to know. Or does it matter when the game ends? Because if the game ends at 11:20, right? Let's say it's 3 hours from then, but I don't get the cash out till 1 o'clock. Does the money count when I receive my $3 million for last year, or does it count for this year? Ooh, that's tricky. That is a tricky dick, as so many people say. Let's put me on this side. In Minnesota too, so they're on the track. Christian Watson on the track. Christian Watson versus JJ on the track. Are you kidding me? My boy Dennis is going to clean. We have the Bengals and we have the Chiefs. Oh, it's going to be good too. Man. Mile High, Week 17, Chargers and Broncos. I don't know. That's a tough day to predict. We've had shootouts. We've had duds. there. So I'm not sure about that one, but maybe it's an Austin Eckler game. I don't know. That one's tricky, but I like it. What I also love is seeing Naj versus Seattle. Are you kidding me? We get Seattle. I'm a little nervous about this game. A little nervous of this game. That one's making me a little nervous. Because the Lions could not block Dallas's D line that day. Also, that's the one where he hurt his like ACL. So I don't know. Man, so many good matchups. So many. Alrighty. Holy cow. This is exciting. So we went over week 15, week 16, and week 17. We read off the matchups. We read which ones I like. We're going to come back. I'm going to do some research, and I'm going to name you my favorite game from weeks 1 through 14 on Monday's episode. We'll probably not do another draft on Monday, but on next Wednesday and Thursday, we'll be doing DK Millie drafts unless requested otherwise. Maybe we'll do DK Millie. And if the puppy's still going, we'll do a puppy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it has been fun. It has been real. It has been so much real fun.